Well, build my gallows and build them high. Makes a long time climbing before I die. I want the chance.
Hello, very welcome to Longbangers in association with Lee Spirits. I'm Mike.
Hello, I'm Colin.
Good evening, I'm John.
And it was Sunday evening. Hibs went to Ibrox, put up a relatively good display. Ultimately got beat 1-0. Thanks for listening. That's the end of the podcast. We summarised it there. We'll see you next week. Now let's we'll get stuck in. There's some controversy around some of the decisions that we'll talk about. We'll talk about how the team's set up. Well, Colin, I'll over to you. You never got to see the game live today. You were at another Hibs game.
I was
at lunchtime today. I had a schedule clash, so I'll hand over to you. You can ask John and I the questions, and we both saw the game. So
it's been quite frustrating this season. The amount of games we seem to have been on a Sunday. Because when she moved to playing on Sundays, I thought, oh, that's good. But it's actually worked in reverse. There's the amount of teams in European competition that's fucking it up. Anyway,
I didn't see on that. I read a thing that says Hibs have only got 3 Saturday kickoffs between now and the end of the year.
Is that right? Really?
Which is brutal, eh?
Aye, that's fucking nuts, eh? When they've won this week.
Aye, one this week. So that's it started October with 2 left.
Oh, fucking hell. That is pish. That's pish if you've got when you've got a season ticket in that, eh?
Aye.
Like you've got Sunday 12 because the derby's like Sunday 12 o'clock now. Anyway, right, let's do it. On Friday we done the preview, our first preview show, and we predicted a lineup. So what did you think when you saw the lineup? Because obviously I think it was I actually thought when I seen it, it could be the 3-5-2 that we all predicted, but it looks like it's set up. Well, the TV had it set up as a 3-5-2. Actually, the TV set up as.
I thought we went 4,
which was wrong. But I think you thought it was 4 at the back. So, so what did you think of how was your predictions, Matthew? How did you get on?
I wasn't particularly close. Well, I think I wasn't a million miles away. Campbell came in. I never expected him to start. Lewis Miller started, and I never expected him to start. And I got a formation role. But apart from that, apart from everything I got wrong in it, I was looking spot on.
I was going to say the final score you got wrong. So apart from everything that we predicted, you got them all right.
Apart from everything, I was well done, me.
John, were you a bit closer with your starting lineup? But you must have been closer than that. I think you went 3-5-2 as well. But
I did go 3-5-2 in my prediction, but I think I was just looking through the lineup there, and I think I had 8 out of the 11 starting, and I had the scoreline right, but not in the correct order.
Okay. Well, as the resident expert, I got 10 out of 11 right. I didn't see.
Check me. I've got my coaching badges.
I know. It's on the secret database, or the information. But no, the only one I didn't predict was Lewis Miller. I did have it as a 3-5-2, so that's kind of fucked up. But so I wasn't massively surprised when I saw the lineup, because other than Miller coming in for Iredale was my prediction, but because it was a 3 at the back, Miller started. So I think we're kind of in the place now. We've kind of got a set of players, and it's going to be them most of the time now. It's got to be, if you can't get 7 right, 8 out of 11 or 8 even. Or what you even did a podcast for? You know what I mean?
I was quite surprised not to see Nicky Cadden feature. I think he must have had a wee knock, because he wasn't even on the bench.
It's never even been mentioned, has it?
No.
I assume so, because we had like 2 centre defenders on there as well. So you wouldn't have thought you would go with 2 centre halves if you had like Cadden available. I don't know, because I had obviously Hoylett and Obita and Youan all covering the left hand side. So do you need somebody else? I don't know. You should start reason. Anyway, so that was the starting lineups. So no real major surprises. What did you make of the first half, John? What was the main talking points, or just summary before we go on these talking points we've got?
Summary of the first half. Shitey booking for Nick Walsh. Good goal from Rangers, albeit I think there was a mistake that preceded it. We had a chance to get back into it at the other end, which would have set up nicely for the second half. But we've not been clinical enough.
So you say Shitey booking. This is a Triantis one. We'll probably cover that because I think most of the talking points that I've skimmed through seem to be about refereeing decisions and various things. So we'll try and cover them off in the talking points. Where did you get to? You got the Rangers goal, which might have been offside, might not have been offside. Have you seen the lines?
I've not seen the lines, but I was watching on the telly today, and I saw the still, and I don't know how. Well, I'm sorry, I can understand how the linesman got it, but to me it was clear, like it wasn't even like it was close.
The line on the BBC highlights looked close, but you can see why it's on. I think.
I thought it was onside. Right.
I thought it was onside. I say it was close. I know that obviously, like when it comes to the VR, they'll be like going through it frame by frame. Or if you've got the expensive version, you'll be going through it frame by frame. It might be like frame by every other frame in the Scottish version. But I think one of the things that I've noticed in the aftermath of the game is that there's been a number of screenshots that have come out of the different key moments throughout the game. So I don't know. That seems to be quite reflective. Aye.
Screenshots didn't work, eh?
No.
Aye. So where did you get to, John? Because I'm going to get him to do the second half. So finish off your first half summary.
Booking, goal,
Wall.
Penalty. Actually, there was penalty controversy, but we missed it. And I feel almost there was a wee bit sort of like reverse double jeopardy there because the players will be booked and we missed it. And I think the players should have been booked and we should have had the opportunity to try and score.
Yeah. Jenky's penalty.
Shite.
Jenky was on his line.
Okay, that's one of the screenshots that I've seen coming out in the aftermath, but
I've just watched him tell that he's on the 6-yard line by the time he fucking saves it. It's like,
but that's the.
Do you think?
I think the criticism of Kuharevich's penalty is that Butland was already diving because he knew which way Kuharevich was going to go. But equally, people didn't. But I say people at the time, commentators, TV, etc., VAR, whatever, didn't really seem to be looking at that.
Yeah, I thought it was a terrible penalty, but I actually always thought if you're asking, which I don't know if you are, but the actual run up, you know, when you do that stop thing, I thought the point of that was to let the goalie dive so you could knock it the other way.
Aye.
Which is fucking pass it to him. Like, that's the whole point of doing that fucking thing. Otherwise, there is no point doing it.
There's a still, you know, the one that's shared about the encroachment. Butland's trailing foot's still on the line when Kuharevich hits it. So you only need one.
Aye, you do. Just touching it
on the line. So I think everybody's looking for something there because the way that we lost the game is much easier to like reconcile that if there's been an injustice. But I genuinely like apart from
because it normally is.
Apart from the Triantis one, which even then I don't think is the worst bit of refereeing in the world. Not that I'm going to stick up. I think he should have let the play go. But you can understand why he's done what he's done. Like in real time, it looks like a shocking tackle. When you see it, see it back, you go, actually, there's not even a foul. So you can sort of see why the ref stopped it. Should have let it play on, and then VAR can go and have a look at it. I didn't think VAR's. He didn't count it, obviously because of the opponent. I think if we were and score there, then they review it. It's contentious whether or not they even give a foul. Never mind the booking. Yeah. So that I think that's where the referee got wrong in terms of the penalty. He's obviously missed he's not given it in the first instance, which he should have done. But VAR's come in, done his job, he's given the penalty. The rest it's just noise. I think Butland's off his line. The encroachment doesn't matter under the laws now. The way that the game is, the boys not gained an advantage. So the referee rightly didn't order the retake. It sticks in the craw because you want there to be something that you can hang your eye on and say, "Oh, it's fucking everybody's against us," and that's why
we had the chance. I never took it. We also had to come on when we come to the second half. I've seen we had chances in the second half. Looking at the stats as well, we were well in the game. Like, and I know stats are stats, and I'm the first to sort of say you need the context. But looking at I've not seen the game, but looking at the stats, same amount of shots, one shot less on target, more off target. Goalies had to make about the same amount of saves. You know what I mean? With more corners. It's very, very even all the way down. Other than possession, they had like 2/3 to a third. It was possession, but other than that, the numbers suggest we were well in it.
It's the criticism we had last season, wasn't it? That we when we had more of the possession, we didn't do enough with it. So it's actually quite, I don't know if reassurance is the right word, that we've had as little possession as we had, but we've managed to carve out as many chances or equivalent to Rangers today.
On paper, I've not got the context to back that up. You know,
I'm actually quite surprised that there's such a difference in the possession, because I thought Hibs controlled the second half. I think first half Rangers definitely had much more of the ball, so maybe maybe it's weighted towards the first half where they had a lot more possession than we did. But I thought honestly we were as comfortable as I've seen us at Ibrox for, well, probably going back to like when Lennon was in charge and we were winning there.
Yeah,
I didn't feel like we were like panic stations or anything like that. They scored the goal out of nothing really, and their next shot on targets were outside the box. It's only really Dessers with his header in the edge, but we've chucked everybody forward that they've looked like scoring again.
I think that's also been the criticism so far this season, and carrying over from last season and the season before, is that when we concede, we tend to capitulate. But I never saw any evidence of that today. We were still pretty strong, and still very much in the game up until the final whistle.
The soft centre's maybe not so soft anymore, hopefully. What did jump out of me is how smart that strip is on the telly.
Smashing that.
I really like it.
Did any of you reminded of I think it was Stevenson's volley when we had the marathon bet sponsored with the white top and the green shorts? It actually, like, seeing us running about in that strip today reminded me of that team in terms of how relatively equal or even the game was.
Yeah. Anyway, smart strip, first half, John summarised. Second half, Matthew, take us through it.
Second half, I thought it was a tale of Hibs knocker on the door and Rangers just telling us we weren't getting in. Really, the final ball, that wee bit of quality, right, where it mattered, let us down today. So Kuharevich obviously with a penalty in the first half. I think there was a stat that Hoyle had put in more crosses than any other players put in a single game this season across the league, or joint top. But he didn't find a Hibs man with too many of them. So either that's, the fault with the forwards in the box, or his crossing wasn't up to scratch. But actually, I thought we put some cracking balls into the box. Thought Hoyle was terrific. And I think, as we saw against St Johnstone, his calmness and composure on the ball under difficult circumstances carried off into the rest of the team. And the difference between our first half and our second half performance was players taking the ball in the tight positions and keeping it, and not just shelling it the way that they're facing, or panicking and getting rid of it. We actually moved the ball relatively well. The work rate was terrific for the team. We were snapping into tackles. If a man was getting past us, the players were getting back and trying to steal the ball back off them. So Kwon and Triantis as the midfield two were terrific. So they totally controlled the second half. And it just was frustrating that we didn't have that wee moment of quality. Like, Gale has a header at the end, which I thought I'd found the top corner. Like, I was out in the seat, like, yes, and just drifts wide of the post. Because I think Butler thought it was in as well. He was well beaten with it.
Gave up,
Aye. And if I dropped in, it would have been just desserts. And I thought we were well worth the point. But I think the thing that stood out for me most of all was that that bravery on the ball and the sticking to a game plan. Like, we knew what we were doing, the style of play that we wanted to have. You could see the way that we were working the ball. And I suppose the subs, when they came on, weakened us a bit as well. Like, we definitely dropped off when so like McCurdy, Youan, Levitt, I'm trying to think who else came on, Mariah Welsh. I thought the team got worse after they came on, but I think also we changed how we were playing. I think we were chasing a goal by that point and stopped doing the things that we've been doing well in favour of just trying to get forward and get a goal. Even then, like, we were knocking on the right to the into injury time. Like, we got I thought we should have the corner as the last, and the referee's given a foul against Tavernier, and it's never a foul in a fucking million years. Or gets booked for arguing about it, and they wonder. Like, it's just one of these ones. Mind we had that Ibrox a few seasons back where some can chuck the ball on the pitch and at our corner, and they got a goal kick at it. And you think, it was a similar sort of thing. There's like we had one last chance to get the ball in the box, and we didn't get it because he's got a phantom free kick.
What what did you think of Dwight Kale? Like when he came on, I know he missed that chance, which he looked gutted about as well. Like he looked like he thought he'd scored or should have scored.
I thought he looked all right. Nah, he was busy. I mean, see if you can compare him with Dessers. I think Dessers came on and took about 20 minutes before he touched the ball once. Whereas Gale got involved. Hard to tell though. Like, I mean, he didn't see a lot of the ball, and he fluffed his lines with that one chance. Although it wasn't an easy chance. Like, it was one of these headers for range where he's tried to kind of like get a bit of power into the direction on the ball. But he looked all right. Hard to judge really for the small sample size.
I don't know what to go and do what I'm at Hibs not to do, but me and John were at the podcast thing the other night, then the behind the goals, and Joe Newell said what a signing he is, what a signing he'll be, without talking him up too much and too early. That's what he said, and when he done that, I thought, is he maybe going to be good? I don't know how many chances he'll get when. Well, I suppose he's here to fill in for Bowie, isn't he? But Joe Newell's very impressed with that signing. Did you mention the save? Or 6 saves?
Only to say that was like the only time Rangers really looked like scoring, but a great save it was, like sort of totally instinctive. He was lucky with it because he's almost behind the line as he's reacting to save it. I mean, it's a shame it was immaterial. It would have been nice if that save had kept us a point or even 3 points. The fact that we still lost the game is a bit disappointing, but everybody sort of has questioned Bursik's save ability.
Well, I'm in a group chat, and earlier in that group chat today, I seen a message saying, has Bursik ever made a save? About half an hour before he made that save. So the answer is yes, now. And if he can make more saves like that, I think we'll look on the Bursik train, eh?
I thought he dealt well with the stuff coming into the box, crosses, high balls, anything that he could get to, he got to. And the long range shot that came in the second half, I think it was Lawrence again that took it. It was really comfortable, played routine save. He was well positioned, he held on to it. But Bursik was fine, kicking was alright today as well. Put a couple out to touch, but most goalies do.
That's rising goals. Yeah.
Correct.
Ding, ding, ding.
I'm determined this is going to be a catchphrase. Folk will start saying it. Start hearing it again soon. Right, so is that it for the games? And anything else you want to add? What was your overall reflections? Disappointed, good performance, but disappointing result. Is that fair to say?
Aye, much more positive, or to be positive about than to be negative about. It's a shame we never got anything from it. But like we said before, there's ways to lose a game, isn't there? Like, and if Hibs are going to lose games, I didn't mind so much if we lose them when we play like that against a team that's better than us. And we troubled them, and we gave a good account of ourselves. We weren't embarrassed. We didn't get them anything easy. I can accept that for us.
Okay. Right. Well, we'll just go on the talking points. Is it too early to do that?
Nah,
right.
Let's go to it.
All right. First one's just a pure statement, and you can agree or not. But as Kaiser says, he says Neil McCann is a gimp. Was he co-commentating on Sky?
Aye. Do you know the thing with Neil McCann, right? I actually think he's not bad. He gives no bad insight into what he's talking about. Yeah, but he could have forgot the Hibs were playing. He just like it was the whole broadcast was just around Rangers really, like and what they were doing and how the game was affecting them. There was very little on Hibs, and I think
that's them playing up to their subscribers, isn't it? Because it's effectively for Celtic Rangers the Scottish contract.
Aye, you had a good old laugh when Suter dived. When I think it was Hoylett was at his heels, Suter dived, and it was like a clever experience playing everything. You go, it's flipping cheating. Just call it what
still
it is.
Still the other end of the pitch.
Aye.
I had to remind him when he's on Sports Scene. I've got to say we should really get him on the podcast, see if we can turn folks' opinions around. I had a Sports Scene. It was Billy Dodds. Fuck me, I'd have Neil McCann any day.
Aye, 100%. Aye.
Right.
Yeah, but he's a Hearts bastard. Like, let's not get away from the fact. Right?
Well, correct. He's usually on to talk Shanklin's value up, isn't he?
Aye.
That's the last few times I've seen him. Right, next one's Gez, who says some strange decisions by the ref, which was expected. think the players will be happy with their performance. We look good in the second half and a couple of chances to level it. Poor penalty from the big man. Triantis and Kwon are running the show. A loss but positives to be taken, which probably backs up what you guys were saying. Ryan Lyle, more positive signs. Not happy we got beat though. Get a penalty at Ibrox, you must convert it. Triantis and Kwon, excellent. Defending much better now due to them. Disappointed in Youan not looking to hurt teams enough when involved. That's a good point, because obviously the two, Triantis and Kwon in the team, the defence have looked better since they've been in, and I've been kind of going, well, I thought the defence were going to be better than they were, but maybe it is the addition of them that are making the difference.
What do you think, John?
I think when we had a chat with someone at Easter Road recently, and I think if I remember rightly, they acknowledged that the lines were being broken far too easily, so their pressure was almost immediately on the defence without anything really getting in their way. So the addition of Triantis and Kwon has definitely helped bolster that. But I don't think it's as binary as saying, well, the defence were shit and now they're better because they got something in front of them. I think they could have a good defence who were overexposed, and now you've got something in front of them.
Yeah. Legends of 73, he says, can't miss penalties at Ibrox, they don't come around too often. Thought the two in the middle of the park were excellent, a lot more positive with Hoylett on the park. I think that seems to be a running theme. That's the first 3, 4, 5 messages all saying similar, so I'll maybe skim past a lot of that. Did you mean, I seen you tweeted about Hoylett saying man of the match?
I thought Hoylett was terrific. Like I know I sort of mentioned the quality of his crossing, and that's like being sort of hypercritical. I think he definitely improves the team. And not that I want to make comparisons, but you look at the. I'll stay away from the comparison. I just think if you take Hoylett in his own merits, he's the best player in that position in the team now. I think he brings a calmness and a quality to the team. His decision making is really good as well. So knowing when to stick and when to twist, and his quality on the ball is really good. I think if we can keep him fit, even if we're getting like 75, 80 minutes out of him most weeks, we'll do well.
I think the point about the penalty miss as well, one of the things I'd suggested, I think not in our previous show on Friday, but in our, I don't know, was it last Monday, was it extra time? I think I suggested one of the things that we needed to do was minimise the mistakes to have a chance of having, to have a chance of getting a result. And I think there's been mistakes today that led to their goal. And then also the approach to the penalty was, you could argue, was a mistake as well, because we've had plenty of shots on goal, not as many shots on target. But it's that, I think the big difference between the game today and who got the points was who was clinical with the chance that came their way.
I don't
and
know.
It's a shiter, but I think that's probably evident of how even the game was and how finely balanced. Like this, there is probably some positives to take out of that we were reasonably close to coming away with a point and potentially going on to win the game in the second half.
Quad was unlucky with a shot in I think it was the first half. Quad had a long range shot, and the keeper's got a touch in it. It was a really clever effort as well, because it's difficult to save a ball going like that.
Yeah. What I've tried to say there when I was butting in on both of you at separate times was,
sorry,
no, it's my fault I'm butting in, but the conversion rate to our penalty seems to be fucking shite. And I don't know if it's just we feel it more because it's us that's missing them, you know what I mean? You don't notice other teams, but it feels like we miss a lot of fucking penalties. We're not getting them, and then we fucking get them, and then he scored them.
No. When was the last one we scored? Did Martin Boyle have one recently?
Josh Campbell scored one again. How long ago was that? Was that against Aberdeen? I'm like, that was in the 6th now. But let's go back.
Boyle missed one in the derby last Christmas.
Aye, we definitely have scored since then, but no, I agree, Colin. It definitely feels like we missed more than our fair share of them.
And it could be because it's us, and we notice it, and you don't know what other teams are doing, but it does feel like you should be scoring like, I would say 9 out of 10 penalties. You should be scoring. It's like a free fucking shot, free hit. That's an actual free hit.
If any stats out there can give us Hibs' conversion rate on penalties or miss rate over the last, I don't know,
in comparison with other teams as well would be good. Obviously, maybe no Rangers, because there's an anomaly throughout, but like against any other team. Part Price Image said, performance good, result crap, team has come together, players gaining confidence, SDG setting the right tone. VAR, surely by now there's a protocol checklist around penalties. Goalie reads a poor penalty, but the encroachment by the defender was clear. Now I think that would be one for you, I think, Mr. Fairney, because you said you sent me the rule on encroachment.
Yes, so the rule recently, or the laws of the game, because folk pick you up on that,
Yeah,
if you say
right.
rules instead of laws, changed recently. So there's a retake taken, and so in the case here where the defending team have encroached, if the ball had broken out to back into play, so if Butland had spilled it and the defender clears it, retake, because the encroachment's gone in the defending team's advantage. If they have no impact on the play, as was the case today, then it's just play on and you didn't do it. Same with the forward, like if a forward team running and is impacted, I think it's a retake. And if they didn't do anything, like if it doesn't impact, then it's play on.
And it kind of makes sense because you would have retakes all the time, and actually what they're saying is there's no advantage to you running in here, because if you do, we'll be doing a retake. And if you run in and nothing happens, then why have you bothered fucking running in?
Aye.
Does it have to break to the player that encroaches in the box, or is that irrelevant?
It would have to be the person that encroached that the ball broke to.
Aye,
Or they could, or even allow them to make a tackle or something. You know, if it broke to the ball, say there today that, so he's taking the penalty, goalie saved it, and it's bounced out, and it's bounced to another Hibs player, and the Rangers player that encroached then made the tackle, he would be getting an advantage because he'd maybe stole a yard. That would be, I guess, would be one reason.
I think there's like a few adaptations to the laws recently. So what the other one that was relevant today was the handball rule, right? So I was at the time questioning why Suter wasn't red carded, because for me he's denied a clear goal scoring opportunity. Bobby Madden was on Instagram. He explained it, saying, well, you've got Butland on the line behind him who's in a position to save it, so that's probably what has stopped it being a red card.
Yeah.
There's also a downgrading in the rules, so things that were previously red cards, it wouldn't necessarily been a goal scoring opportunity, but deliberate handball, there might have been a red card before, is now a yellow card. I don't know why Suter was the booked at all, though. That would be my question. Right. There's no two ways about it. When he's fallen down, so, his arm goes up to the ball.
So can I try and answer this? Would this possibly be the case? The referee didn't give the penalty, did he? VAR gave the penalty.
Yeah.
And the VAR can't tell to book somebody.
No, they're correct.
So is that why? But then, I don't know if it's...
but if it points out the error and he looks at it on screen, he surely has the opportunity.
It was a pitch. Was the pitch that the review? I know. I'm just trying to play. Is there a reason for it? Because he did look at it himself to give it.
It's one of those quirks. I'd be interested to get like a proper answer on that one, because you're right. The VAR can intervene to tell a referee to book a player. But if the referee's missed the bookable offence and then agrees that he's missed the bookable offence, is he duty bound to then go book the player? And you were thinking,
and it was the VR giving it. The VR tell him to go and have a look at it and do it. So he then decides it's a penalty. So I don't know. Maybe he should have, but I'm just saying maybe that's the reason why, because there is quirks like that, wasn't it? It was like that time when they checked something. Mind when we let a goal in against Livingston last season, and they checked.
It was offside.
Offside for a penalty, was it? It was a penalty they checked, but because they checked the penalty, they checked back for the offside.
So there was a couple of aspects to this one, wasn't there? Right. So there was the colour of the card. There was also whether or not it was a goal scoring opportunity, because there was a comparison with Motherwell one yesterday. The Motherwell player gets red carded, and on first look they look really, really similar, but there's like a clear difference. In the Motherwell one, the boy's literally on the line with nobody behind him, and he's lifted his arm up to block it, and the shot's going in at a fair amount of speed. I'm not even convinced we've taken a shot there. It's like it's come off the Hibs player and it's going towards the goal, but it's not really like a clean strike with it. You know, McCurdy's one at Aberdeen, where the boy handled it and turned onto the crossbar. That one should have been a red card. That was going to be a goal. This one, I'm not convinced that's going in. But like if nothing else,
but like out of it, surely, because I wouldn't necessarily say that he's trying to I think he's trying to control it, but it's come at him and it's come away from him, and that's when Suter handballs it. But to suggest that Butland's going to save it if Kuharevich gets a foot on it for that distance, you've got to assume that there's a goal scoring opportunity. There's not. I don't think that.
But is it a clear goal scoring opportunity? Because if you think about it,
Yes.
the ball's already moving away from Kuharevich, which is why it's hit Sewer. It's not like Kuharevich is in control of it and Sewer's gone in and put his hand in the way. Like, I wanted it to be a goal scoring opportunity. I wanted it to be a red card or the penalty. I wanted the whole fucking shebang. But when you take a step back and you try to sort of put yourself in the referee's shoes and say, like, how's he got to that position? Mm-hmm. And that's kind of where I'm going, right? Keeper is there. So that's subjective anyway, right? And it's the referee has to make a call whether he might save it or he might not. And it's a subjective one. But for me, that was close enough that I could get behind whichever way the referee falls in it, I can say, right, I understand why he's decided that. But I didn't think we've had a shot flying into the goal that's been blocked there. I think it's a touch for Kuharevich that's been blocked.
And what we'll do is we'll bookmark that for when we do get one against us, and then we can go and moan like fuck.
Correct.
It's too much pragmatism for the fans chief, in my opinion.
Aye. Old age, that's what happens. You get old age, and then you start looking at
new season resolution.
Aye, is it not?
The new season resolution.
I always slaughter referees, right? Like always, but I always try to be fair with it. If I could go, like, I understand why he's made that decision. I'll say it, because then when I criticise, you can, and we'll just end it for the sake of I'm blinkered, and that's all I'll ever do.
Yeah,
but is it another oddity in the rules that could be taken advantage of by players? So Suter's able to put his hand up there because he knows he's got the goalkeeper behind him, and therefore doesn't deny a goal scoring opportunity.
I don't think he really knows where the goalie is. I don't think he's thinking that. I think it's just natural reaction. The fuck about it. I've misjudged it.
That's maybe not the question. Is that a rule that could be exploited by teams that are clever enough to look at that kind of thing and go, to be mindful of the rule changes?
They do it now with the last man, John, like that kind of last man's not a rule, right? But the clear goal scoring opportunity. If they can, there's another defender that's going to get across here before that boy gets through and goal. They'll take a player out, no bother, and they'll take the yellow card for it because they're not going to get sent off. If there's that other player's no there, then they'll let the boy run through. So,
and I don't think handball ones you can think about it, because I think they're total reaction ones. Like, that's a complete fuck. I've misjudged it. Stick my arm up. You know, you've not got time. You go, oh, Butland, are you there? Come on in, the ball will be past them by the time.
What about Clement's explanation of it all? Like, did you see that post-match? Fucking hilarious.
Pish.
That's like that's not a million miles off of Kevin Keegan's. I would love it. Pish. Like,
it's not a million miles off of David Brent.
Well, there's that as well. Like, it's not quite Kashinya standing in a hedge. Like, it's not quite there, but he's moaned about the kick-off time, and then he's getting at the. But the way that he describes what's happened is wrong anyway. He's like, it's like he's moved his hand up after the ball's hit it. You go, nah, if he doesn't move his hand up, the ball goes over the top of him. It's that movement that's made contact with it. Anyway,
it's like a goalie making a save. That's effectively what he's done.
To deny it is the definition of denial, as a great man once said.
Is that Lee Johnson?
That was Raymond.
It sounds like a Lee Johnsonism.
Let me get through a few more of these. Just to want to add to that, I suppose, Neil Renton, friend of the show, I've seen the stuff about the penalty we got and the red card they never. I understand why it wasn't a sending off. Tell me this, what would it have been at the other end of the pitch? Penalty, red card, and a 14-match suspension for purchase. That's what. That's where we're going with the bookmark thing, I suppose. At that point, because it's one of them where we'll build a moan about that, I'm sure, at some point later in the season.
Playing devil's advocate, is that what about it? Is it if Manny had balls?
Nah,
because it never happened at the other end of the pitch.
It's experience, isn't it? Because we've been there when it's happened at the other end of the pitch or similar.
I think I suppose, I don't know if it's an entirely fair comparison, but the comparison might be Triantis winning the ball fairly and getting booked. Suter altering the flight of the ball unfairly and not getting booked. Shooting immediately in front of the goal.
So we spoke about the penalty, right? And why, well, it definitely is a penalty, but why maybe it wasn't a red or a yellow card. Well, definitely not a red, but why it wasn't a yellow. We spoke about, what was the other refereeing decision? Oh, we've not spoken about the Triantis one.
Encroachment.
The the encroachment. We've done that. So Triantis we've not spoke about yet. So what was your thoughts when you first saw it, John? Like you saw it live, you went, what was your reaction? Was it
Great.
Oh, you fucker, or brilliant?
My immediate reaction was great challenge. It set Hibs up great for an opportunity to try and carve out an opportunity for himself, because I think it was breaking sort of diagonally over to someone on the right hand side, maybe down the channel.
They went to Campbell, who played.
He played at Kuharevich.
Yeah,
Campbell, and then it's been called back, and I just thought like that experience that you were talking about before. It said to me, "He's just fucking pulled that back because Hibs have got a really good opportunity."
Right.
And
Matthew.
I was just going to say, like the video replay would tend to suggest I'm not far off.
What
Because
was
he
your
definitely
first
gets the
reaction?
ball.
He does.
So he takes it like a heavy touch, isn't it? It's one of these ones where they go, I've got to win this, and he dives in. So when he dived in, I was like, he's going to get this right, is what I thought.
Aye. See what he did though? What did you do? Did you go, oh fuck, or did you go, superb?
Yeah. I went, so I was in my seat because I thought we were 3 on goal, and then the referee blew it back, and I went, oh fuck, this is interesting. Right? And I put in the group chat, this will be interesting. Because at this point, the way that the game is now, you've no fucking idea which way these decisions are going to go. But when you watch it, actually, I think it kind of makes contact with the Rangers. But I think it's really unlucky to get a booking. But again, Varron will go and tell the referee shouldn't have booked him. So the booking stands. They checked it for the red card, and Var's right, it wasn't a red card, so they never got the referee to go and have another look at it. The big error in this passage of play for me is the referee should have let it go. Let us finish the opportunity and then bring it back. Unless if he thinks it's a red card offence, then you stop it and you send the player off. But he didn't think it was a red card offence, so we should have been allowed to play on it. And I think if they'd done that and then they'd go and do the let's take 20 minutes to look at it because it's fucking Rangers and we can't do a quick decision on it, I think they would see that there's no free kick. And Triantis isn't out of control. He studs on the up. He wins the ball cleanly. I don't think he was excessive force, which might be the argument. He was quick, but I think because of the way that he approached the tackle, you can't say it's excessive force if you've not touched somebody, surely.
Do you remember it was a few years ago now, and I don't know how the rules have changed since then, but do you remember, was it Simonovic for Celtic? Absolutely melted Kenny Miller.
Amazing.
Kenny Miller's like up in the air, all that sort of stuff, but it was a perfect man and ball or ball and man challenge. Like nothing happened with that. It was like referee, play on.
Aye.
And today we get pulled back and Triantis gets a booking for a challenge that was arguably a tenth of the force, a quarter of the force.
The Rangers player's made a meal at it as well. Like he's obviously going, jumped in here. If I make this look bad, I could get a red card out of this.
Part of that, I think that if anything, what he was caught with was the ball. Because Triantis he won the ball and the ball might have caught the boy in the foot or the way through.
Maybe.
Because it's not him. But and the reason I'm asking, like, because when I'm watching a game, normally I would go, oh fuck's sake, come when you see a tackle like that, and I didn't see it, but I did have it on in the radio in the car, and their reaction. Now Scott Allen was one of them, right? So we're not going to call any Rangers bias here. Stevie Thompson, possibly, but I don't think he's Rangers biased particularly. Scott Allen and the boy commentator, I can't remember his name, a lament maybe. The reaction to that was, oh, what colour card will it be? No, no any other thing other than, is it going to be red? It's definitely a yellow. It might be red. That was their initial reaction to it. And I know sometimes when I watch the games, I would go, if you see somebody flying in there like that, my reaction is to go, fucking hell. You see a danger of getting sent off here. And I just wondered if either he's had done that. Obviously never.
Has your reaction to those sorts of challenges always been the same, Colin, or has it changed at all since the introduction of VAR?
No, it's always been like that. It's always been like that, because you can see it. You can see a tackle when somebody goes flying in the air. You often think, "Fucking hell, this is like you never know what a referee's got to do." And actually, what VAR might do is say, "Isn't it a red card now?" So if anything, it gives you that back. You've probably seen players sent off in the past. Mind fucking Bredner getting sent off in the 1-0 the last minute derby, and then get rescinded on the Wednesday after it. But you know, they kind of, when folk throw their cell in, they can look can look bad. What I would say on the, I've seen it back since. I'm just saying what the radio said, right? And I'm trying to take so that as BBC and folks say BBC biased, but with Scott Allen and that, what you should do, right? Or at the game. They were talking about the pace he went in it and all that, and that's why maybe they were just trying to talk it up being a yellow. I seen the TV, I think TVC TV said it wasn't a, shouldn't have been a booking. If they had let the play go on, which is the correct thing to do,
It is.
I think the reaction to the Rangers player, the crowd, the referee thought, fucking I'm blowing this, I'm in charge here, Mr. Supervisor in the stand. I'm in charge of the game here, I've got it under control, I'm not letting it get out of my hand, I'm not letting any Rangers player go and fucking punch a Hibs player, sort of thing. And I think that's probably why he blew the whistle, because he heard the noise, saw the boy fly in the air, and done that, what I'm saying, going, fucking hell, like, because I'm sure the referees have that thought go through their head at the same time. I'm away with it, I'm just trying to give the other side of the
I think the suggestion that the reason that Triantis has been booked because of the pace that he's gone in it is bullshit, because I think it's generally acknowledged that Scottish football is fast-paced. Like, so English football, when it's kind of knocking the ball out the back kind of thing.
They've got that. They've got the levels of pace going into tackles. There's reckless.
Is that no subjective as well?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Aye,
but that's football's rules, laws, aren't they? That's what they are. They're grey areas. That's what you've got.
It just
There's 3 levels. One's no booking, one's a yellow, one's a red. So you've got out of control, reckless, and something
dangerous.
else. Dangerous. And that's your three levels. And they've obviously thought that was the middle one. This was the yellow.
So what was that? Reckless.
Reckless is bad. I think it is.
I think the Sky commentators were talking and doing as well. Didn't think it was a red card, and there was a view that might not even have been a foul, which I think is about right. That's it's one of these ones that he definitely should have. I agree with you, Colin. I think that's why he has pulled it back, but I didn't think he should have done. He should be braver than that to let it go, and then sort it out later, as they did with Rangers and St Johnstone at Hampden, with Rangers winner. I think it came for their player having a potential foul on the St Johnstone player. Yeah. Which they let the play run on and then went back and reviewed it, decided it was all right.
So, I agree. But I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying the other side. Do you know what I mean? That's and I know what my reaction is like. I'll be there on Saturday, and if somebody flies in like that, my first reaction is like, fuck. Or if it's against you, you go, fucking hell, ref, get him off.
Aye.
And then you get back and you go, it's not that bad.
Well, if you look at the boy that got sent off for St Johnstone against us, I mean, they're not quite comparable tackles because that boy never got any of the ball, but I don't think there was a great difference in the amount of speed that they went into the tackle with. The difference being Janis was in control when he won the ball, and he never had his studs up. Do you know, like he's like all the wee bits that he tell you he can't do, Janis go right, and he won the ball. But the other boy went in probably with a similar level of force, but got all the other bits wrong with like studs up high and got the player.
Later.
I can't remember what it was that I said about the St Johnstone player whose name escapes me. But I think I'm on the side of the people that say that football is becoming a non-contact sport. Like I think those challenges should be allowed. However, I think there should be. I think the game should allow for those challenges to be made where you can win the ball. However, if you out to deliberately injure an opponent, and I think you can tell the difference between, say, a Triantis going for the ball today and, say, another player who tries to injure an opponent, then that should absolutely should fall under the criteria that Colin set out, the rules of the game set out, or the laws of the game, I forget which.
I think the issue you have, again, just thinking out loud here and trying to be pragmatic, the issue that you have there is there's such a fine line between getting that right and getting it wrong when you're the player making the tackle, that there'll be loads of players who go in with the intention not to injure their opponent and just to go in hard to win the ball, but they get it wrong, and because they get it wrong, they end up breaking somebody's leg. So, from like a safeguarding point of view, the easiest thing to do is to say, well, you just can't tackle that. We're going to take you the risk of that tackle happening. We're going to minimise it as much as possible. It's like the high boot rule, which now is like almost like, you know, if anything, if you kick a player in the head, it's a red card. And the idea being that you've got a responsibility not to kick a player in the head, even if it's accidental or nowhere that much force.
But the law, am I right in saying it's the laws of the game?
The laws of the game, John, yep.
What was I going to say? The law in this instance is not a deterrent because players still make that challenge.
But did they do it as much? I would say they didn't.
And what Stevie Thompson in that said was every Hibs fan, management, Hibs member of staff would expect them to make that tackle.
Aye.
As well what they said. But I think you've just got to be aware, like that. Especially at Ibrox, you're drawn, and it shouldn't be like that. But he'll make that tackle again on Saturday, or somebody will make it against him on Saturday. And I don't know.
Aye, we saw with Porteous there a couple of seasons back. Yeah, Porteous get a red card for it. So, aye.
Anyway, right, I'll rattle through a few more. I want to similar things, but I thought it was important to cover the referee stuff because there is a bit of contention about it, and I think you can kind of see why they made some of the decisions. And I think John maybe can't look at his faces and the body language, but I think there is reasons for it being given, and whether we agree with them or not, no sure. But anyway, here's a wee negative one, David. It can be dressed up all you like, but it's another defeat and a missed penalty. I'm not convinced we'll do any better than last season. So disillusioned with the lack of decent results. That's a bit unfair.
First defeat in 4 games, wasn't it?
I was going to ask you guys a question. So I think it was last week, I'd suggested that David Gray could come to Ibrox and his coaching credentials wouldn't be harmed if he'd come away with a defeat, but they would be increased if he was to have gotten a win. How much do you think that's been impacted? How much do you think his coaching credentials today have been impacted by the result?
I think they've been impacted positively. I don't think the result impacts as much as the performance does. And I go back to what I was saying about a way to win or a way to lose a game. Sorry. That's how you want to lose a game, having given a good account of yourself and put everything into it, which I think we did. Tactically, I think we got it right today. I don't think Rangers really got at us at all. We caused them at least as much trouble as they caused us. So I think to your question, from my view, David Gray's probably come away completely unscathed, and if not, slightly improved on the back of that one.
Similar question with regards to the team then. How much do you think their credentials have been impacted positively or negatively after the result?
Same again. Same applies. Like we've seen like better teams than that go and get rolled over at Ibrox before, and you can we go into them thinking, well, we do something and we've got a great chance and we've got these good players, and they get scudded and you go, oh fuck hell, that was disappointing. Or can you have like was it Jack Ross lost 6 goals there, or I can't remember how many Monty lost there, 4 maybe. And you get these chasings, and I think the team gave a good account of themselves. I think what you saw today was a team that looks like it's going in the right direction. I think on the back of having a 3-game unbeaten run, you take a defeat here at Ibrox, which is always kind of likely. It's what happens next week that counts now, isn't it? Like, what happens. If we play shit in that game, that's where the coaching credentials will get hammered, or the team credentials will get hammered.
Win.
Aye.
I think I don't know if you have watched David Gray's post-match interview, but he mentioned something about what you saw on the pitch today was the bare minimum that was required. And I think what we've seen before, after not so much good performances, definitely after good results against Rangers, that the following week tends to be the one that's a bit of a damp squib.
Yes.
I'm hoping that we can keep those levels.
Yeah, definitely.
At the same level next week.
It's a big one.
Aye. A good point that he makes. Sorry, Colin, you go.
No, I just going to say it's a big one because then we've got more time off again after next week. So we need to get the 3 points in, get them in the bag, jump up the league a bit. If we lose on Saturday or don't win, we're going to go into another break on a negative, and then we're going to be chasing. We're almost like through the cycle of they all played everybody once, and we're saying that's coming.
Do you know what was quite good to see? And it happened like Maloney came in and they had a couple of weeks where we looked like we got an immediate improvement, and then with a bit of time off, and he got that time coaching the team, and we came back and we were worse. And it happened with Montgomery with a bit of time off, and same with Lee Johnson actually. It's nice to have like a manager talk about getting more time coaching the team, and you actually see a difference positively on the pitch. It's like that's another wee tick for David Gray as well.
Yeah. James Gardner here. No shots on target is a worry, but overall I thought Hibs played well. Central 2 were really good. They're getting better the more they play. Butland was off his line. I think you've said Butland was possibly touching his line. BBC Stats said with 3 shots on target as well.
With a safe penalty, which was on target. Quans had one on target. So there's 2 immediately that I can think of. I think there's another
3,
one.
and there was about 6 block shots as well, which I don't know if...
What was the... Oh, Josh Campbell took a shot for distance, which went pretty much straight in the middle. But
so I'd maybe see where he's coming for there then, because the penalty didn't feel like a shot on target as much as it technically ticks that box.
It was so, aye.
If the goalie wasn't there, it was in. Aye. DJW says, thought overall we played very well, deserved a draw, poor penalty kick cost us, onwards to the next game, that performance needs to be the minimum requirement and the points will follow. Stephen Scott should have taken something from the game but didn't progress, and if that continues, I'm fine with that. If it continues, Ewan McAleese, good from our centre backs. McCurdy's too lightweight, either go to the gym or go play elsewhere. Some really good points, but on our shots on target, and for fuck's sake, stop messing around with the penalties. We only get one there every 360,000 years. Jake Gappard, disappointing result. Rangers were there for the taking today, and had Suter been sent off like he should have been, think we would have pumped him. Other than that, promising performances. Youan still well off the pace, unfortunately. Think a spell of games in the B team for him. I think we've got a B team, eh?
No, Youan's is a worry though, because his 2 performances that he's had since coming back for injury have both been shockers, and we obviously had a difficult summer, for want of a better word for it. So pre-season, he's obviously taking abuse. Now, folk, I can't remember if it was a Hibs fan that sent it, so it was a Hibs fan's phone, but was the story not that it was other fans or other boys that had got his phone and sent it?
Not the account owner.
So not the account owner. So I don't, I know everybody says he was racially abused by his own fans. I don't know if that's actually the case, right? But let's say it was. He's also had other fans messaging him saying, "I can't wait to see you back," and he's gone, "Dream on." He's had this sort of a few exchanges with a few different fans saying "Oh, I'm not going to be playing." Essentially, I can't wait to get away. He's then not got his move, come into the team, had a stinker against St Johnstone where there was a lot of on a big perception that he wasn't trying a leg. He looked lost doing the pitch again today. And I think if you're David Gray, we've got a bit of a problem with Elie Youan, because you can't carry that in the team. Whether it's Elie Youan or like Harry McCurdy, again, didn't impact the game, and you can't keep putting players on that didn't impact the game. So this isn't just necessarily Elie Youan. The difference with Youan is Youan's a £2.5-3 million player at his best.
I don't think I'm going to try and defend Youan a wee bit here, because I don't think it's fair to say that he looked. I don't think it's entirely fair to say that he looked lost, because there was at least one opportunity where he's drove in for the left-hand side and he saw the shot that's gone wide of the post. There was a wee bit of team effort. There was another opportunity second half where he's been involved in a passage of play with 2 or 3 triangles he passes that's got Hibs on a counter-attack. However, as a wider point, I think we're looking for more from him, because he's that £2-3 million player that you're describing.
But the point I'm making is, if you're David Gray, you're caught between a rock and a hard place with it, because the other players will see it. The other players will see where a player's not at it, and they'll be asking, why is he getting in the team? But if you didn't play him, that's a lot of money to wave goodbye to, because you'll not be able to sell him in January for $2 million or $3 million. You'll look at anywhere close to it. We'll be looking for a team to take him off our hands at a cut price, because we can't keep him in the team. So that's probably, for me, David Gray's biggest challenge that he's got to deal with now is how does he get Elie Youan into that Hibs team playing at his best and motivated, so that either he contributes the way that he's supposed to contribute and he gets the move that he wants and we get the money that we want from him. Because if he doesn't, it's like everybody's in a lose-lose. But
somebody, I mean, that's it, and I'm sure they're doing it, like, they're not daft, but they're going to have to say to him, listen, you're not going to get the move you want if you then start turning up.
Aye.
And that's the brass tacks, isn't it? It's as simple as that. Like, you'll be away from here, but it'll not be anywhere fucking better. Like,
is there more elements to the rock and a hard play stuff that you described? Because like you suggested, like, he's come in for racist abuse, whether it's from his own supporters, whether it's from his own supporters' phone that someone else has got hold of. Hibs are playing him. He's come back from injury, he's been training, and he's been selected to play. It may also be the fact that he's been impacted by that quite heavily. We need to give him a bit of a break and give him the opportunity to perform.
So, to an extent,
because so they're rock in a hard place there. Like you're saying that he's an asset, and we might look to sell him at some point in the future. But so his performances, he may be impacted negatively, but then what the Hibs do in that situation? Because if they don't play him, it's still going to be Hibs that get it in the neck. It's not going to be David Gray that gets it in the neck. It's going to be Elie Youan getting racist abuse through Instagram saying, "You're no fucking interested."
Aye. So right, there's no excuse for the racist abuse, or he shouldn't be abusing players, like full stop, right? Whether it's racially or otherwise. But there's also like a point where, like, I'm trying to frame this right, because I'm very conscious that I don't want to be like victim blaming or anything like that. That's not the point I'm making at all, right? But Elie Youan's got a job to his employer, right? Hibs rolling it. Hibs came out and backed Elie Youan. They condemned the racist abuse. Absolutely. Well, I've had private chats with him and all the rest of it. In fact, any time that Elie Youan's had abuse, they've come out to defend him. He's got a responsibility to his employers to do his best. Now, I can't imagine it's nice for anybody to get abuse, but going into your like into your shell when you're getting like maybe not going into your shell, right? So, like I said, I'm trying to make this point here without sounding like I'm having a go at Elie Youan for getting abused, because I'm no. But there's a point where you have to sort of say, right, Elie, we're supporting you. How do we get past this? You've had that abuse, and it's obviously bad. How do we get you past it so that you can perform your best on the pitch? What needs to happen for you to, in your head, come to terms you had that abuse and then move on from it? Because you can't just in life generally like let these things affect what you do, or you kind of let the races win. Do you know what I mean? Like you have to kind of come out fighting with it, or do you get the point I'm making? Like I'm absolutely not saying it's Elie Youan's fault he's got abuse, or that he should just accept it and not say anything about it. But there's ways to tackle it. But letting your team down is the way to go about it.
I think I'm also conscious of making a false comparison here, but I think the question we've asked before, we've asked a similar question before, and I think with regards to the team, or with regards to the manager, or with regards to changing mindsets and reactions to the supporter, it's just win games. So I think for Youan, it's to play, it's to score, and it's to be loved by the fans.
Mm-hmm. And the fans have a role for it. Like if the fans show them love and all the rest of it, maybe that helps that process along. But it's definitely like a two-way street, isn't it? Like the way that these things go. Historically, it's always been a two-way street. Nobody gets really that much unconditional support for the supporters as much as you would want it to be the case. And I'm absolutely not in any way, shape or form sort of saying Elie Youan's responsible for the abuse that he gets or anything like that. And it's fucking abhorrent to be racist, and it's abhorrent to send somebody racist abuse. I'm not saying that you should just, like I said, just accept that that's what happened and move on.
Mm.
But I think
it's almost like I agree. I totally get what you're saying. I know you're obviously worried that folk are going to twist what you're saying.
Aye,
right, and that's why you're saying it. But I understand what you're saying. But it's almost like, but I get what John's saying as well. But then if he's still suffering with it, and is playing actually going to help him get over it? Is the other option, because it's almost like, well,
you take
it looks like you're impacted. It looks like you're impacted that much that you can't perform. So you know what? We're not going to put you out there and impact you like that.
But he doesn't just turn up on Saturdays or Sundays and play. Like he's training throughout the week. There's a reason that he's been selected.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not convinced that he just turns up on Saturday.
He's a talented player, and I'm sure in training. But maybe when there's people there, maybe that's impacting him because he's thinking, "Oh, they didn't like me." But when he's at HTC, it's just all the boys, and the women, because he's training as well. But you know what I mean? It's just so you know, maybe it's just a different environment. Maybe it's in front of people that he's struggling at the moment because of the abuse he's had from probably for too many folk. it is definitely a minority, but there's more than one as well, which is like fucking ridiculous. Andrew Tate and that have got a fucking lot to answer for, all these young laddies that are fucking running about shouting all that shit. But it's, I don't know, are we putting them in the fucking firing line and it's impacting them more? But because we want to fucking sell them, we get money for them.
It's just, that's the bit, because go back to the original point, is David Gray's biggest challenge, I think he's got at the moment, is how does he turn that situation around so that everybody benefits? Because you want to see Elie Youan do well. You want him to see, to look like he's enjoying his football. You want to see what he's capable of doing, because on his day he's a terrific player. And you want to see him impacting the team positively. And if he wants to go and do that to get out a move so that Hibs get money out of it, everybody wins out of that. That's like your sort of ideal situation. David Gray's got to find out how he shifts the dial from where it is now to where that's happening.
Mm-hmm. Interesting one. There is more. There's loads more talking points, but I'm looking at the time and thinking,
I think we're out of time. Yeah. Well,
I'm sure I heard the wee beep go about 10 minutes ago.
I set it earlier. It was only 45 minutes. So normally set it a wee bit, so I can, right, we're on the, we need to start watching how long we're going. Right, what have we got coming up then? So get in touch if you like the preview show. A few folk did get in touch and asked that we put it on Patreon and Hubwave, just to kind of give a wee bit of context around that. It's a lot of editing, but also we're conscious that we clog up. There's a lot of content coming out for us, and if you miss one or two things, all of a sudden you've got 4 or 5 episodes waiting for you to get through, and sometimes you never get to them. So we didn't really want to clog up podcast players with the content, but a few folk have asked for them to go on to Patreon and Hubwave. So I think from next week's one, I'll do that. I don't mind. It's a wee bit extra work for me, but I'll take the hit for yous. Because why not?
Not the hero you need. It's the hero you deserve.
But get in touch with us. It'd be good to kind of get in advance next Friday your views on what you think the team lineup will be against Motherwell and any score predictions, and we can include a few of them in the programme. It is still on YouTube. If you missed it, you can go back and you can see how wrong our predictions were. But we'll be back. All right. Yeah. Wrong, mostly though.
I said 1-0 and I got 10, 11 players right. I was so wrong. All here away.
Yeah, wrong.
All here stuff. Roller.
But wrong. We will be back with extra time, so if you're a subscriber you will get extra time tomorrow night. We're not quite settled on a topic yet, but we'll pick something and you'll get half hour extra content out of us for that. And then on Thursday we'll be back with our phone in as well, and if you're a subscriber you can dial into that. We'll post the Zoom details up on YouTube members, on Hubwave and on Patreon, and we'd love to get your thoughts on the game that's just gone by. In the meantime, thanks for listening, thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next time.
Well, they trailed me down when I broke free. I drank all the whiskey in Tennessee. I don't drink what I know.